Barack Obama reverses positions, saying he's now for selling oil from the country's emergency reserve and reiterates that he might now be in favor of some new offshore drilling. The Democratic candidate unveiled a new energy policy today that included some reversals of previous positions.
The plan contains some policy shifts for the presumptive Democratic nominee. He laid the groundwork with comments over the weekend that includes just the kind of limited offshore drilling Obama has previously opposed.
What I don't want to do is for the best to be the enemy of the good here.
And Obama urged today that the U.S. tap into its strategic petroleum reserve, an idea he rejected just 28 days ago.
The strategic oil reserve, I think, has to be reserved for a genuine emergency. You have a situation, let's say, where there was a major oil facility in Saudi Arabia that was destroyed. That's what the strategic oil reserve has to be for.
Obama's campaign also unleashed a new ad portraying likely Republican opponent John McCain as a captive of the oil industry.
After one president in the pocket of big oil, we can't afford another.
The McCain campaign pointed out that it was Obama, not McCain, who voted for the Bush-Cheney energy bill, which included $15 billion in tax breaks for oil and gas companies, and that the Illinois Democrat also accepted nearly $400,000 in contributions from oil and gas executives and employees.
McCain leads 47 to 46% in the new Rasmussen tracking poll that includes voters leaning one way or another. Obama was up 6 points in that survey 9 days ago. Senator Obama's positions on energy, both new and old, were a central theme for John McCain today. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron has that story.
At a nearly century-old label maker in Lafayette Hill, Pennsylvania, John McCain ripped and ridiculed Barack Obama's energy proposals.
These misguided policies would result in higher energy costs to American families and businesses and increased dependence on foreign oil. We're not going to achieve energy independence by inflating our tires.
Team McCain's handing out tire pressure gauges, mocking Obama's suggestion that properly inflated tires and car maintenance can save as much fuel as McCain's plan, opposed by Obama, to expand offshore oil drilling. Obama also opposes McCain's plan for 45 new nuclear power plants, and McCain says it adds up to Obama either ignoring or misreading the supply problem or misleading voters.
Anybody who says that we can achieve energy independence without using and increasing these existing energy resources either doesn't have the experience to understand the challenge we face or isn't giving the American people some straight talk.
Obama suggested in Florida, where voters favor more offshore drilling by 2-to-1 margins in the polls now, that he might reluctantly go along with some expanded drilling as part of a more comprehensive energy plan. McCain aides pounced all over Obama's new proposal today to tap the nation's strategic petroleum reserve as rank politics and reckless. Quote, "The strategic oil reserve exists for America's national security strategy, not Barack Obama's election strategy." McCain also turned his fire today on majority Democrats in Congress, blasting their decision to send lawmakers home for August vacation rather than debating and voting on energy policy.
The Congress, doing nothing, decided to go on a 5-week recess without addressing the energy challenge that's affecting Americans every single day.
McCain volunteered to return and vote and chastised Obama to do the same.
Congress should come back into session, and I'm willing to come off the campaign trail. I call on Senator Obama to call on Congress to come back into town and come back to work.
Offshore drilling would not lower gas prices today. It would not lower gas prices tomorrow. It would not lower gas prices this year. It would not lower gas prices 5 years from now.
We should sell 70 million barrels of oil from our strategic petroleum reserve for less expensive crude, which in the past has lowered gas prices within 2 weeks. I do not believe that we should use the strategic oil reserves at this point. It does include a limited amount of new offshore drilling. And while I still don't believe that's a particularly meaningful short-term or long-term solution, what I've said is I'm willing to consider it if it's necessary to actually pass a comprehensive plan. More drilling is just going to leave us in an oil deficit, and we're still going to be sending billions of dollars to foreign nations.
Well, there you see Senator Barack Obama today and Senator Barack Obama in a couple of different speeches over recent weeks about the energy issue. Fred, what's your take of the speech today and the back and forth?
Well, Barack Obama does change his mind, that's for sure, and in rather short order.
To release the 70 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, most experts say it wouldn't bring down gas prices quickly or that long and wouldn't do too much for a long period of time. Is that different than the gas tax holiday in some way?
The gas tax holiday was hokey and cheap, and this is hokier and cheaper, because to take from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is to jeopardize our national security. It really is for supply interruption, which would be a catastrophe for our country. To take stuff out is going to have negligible effect on price, and it'll have an effect for a day or two. The amount he wants to take out is about a week's worth of imports. It's absurd. And if you wanted to remove from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, at least you should be in favor of drilling, so that domestically in a few years we will have essentially new strategic reserves in the Arctic or offshore, which could substitute for draining the reserves we currently have. So his position is contradictory, cheap, and political. And the stuff he said only a week ago in Missouri on Wednesday of last week, if we only inflated our tires, it would substitute for all the oil that the Republicans will want to drill for, is a towering absurdity. The amount we would save in our tires, generously calculated, is about 1/200th of what you'd get from offshore oil alone, and the amount of oil shale in the West would give us 10,000 years worth of the gasoline saved by inflating our tires. The problem with the Democratic position is they always say, let's do X instead of drilling. What the American people understand is you do X, Y, and Z and everything, but the reason not to drill is untenable. You drill as well, and that'll help us as well.
McCain leads 47 to 46% in the new Rasmussen tracking poll that includes voters leaning one way or another. Obama was up 6 points in that survey 9 days ago.